This is a matchup of epic proportions. A college football semifinal rematch taking place in Columbus, Ohio. Dave Portnoy is banned from entering Ohio Stadium. Arch Manning is ready to start his Heisman run, and Jeremiah Smith is still the best player in all of college football. This one's going to be really fun to watch, but really hard to make our picks for. But we're trying it on this episode of the Waterboys College Football Show.
All right, boys, let's do our week one picks. We've got 5 games here that we're going to pick. Obviously, we're going to start out the picks with the biggest game that's happening over the weekend in a weekend of huge matchups. This is crazy that these are the week one matchups. But first pick we got up, number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State. Noon kickoff on Fox. Noon Eastern kickoff on Fox. This is the biggest top 3 clash to kick off not just this season, but any season of college football. Strez, take your Ohio State hat off. Give me a legitimate reason why you think Ohio State wins this game or doesn't.
I've been going back and forth all week long on this football game, and part of it has to do with Arch Manning. Part of it has to do with Ryan Day being the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of it has to do with consistency at coordinator at Texas and inconsistency at coordinator at Ohio State. Part of it has to do with the fact that both of these teams are bringing back 9 starters. They're 101st and 103rd in returning production this season, so neither team really has like an experience edge other than at quarterback. And honestly, the experience that Arch Manning had was against a team that I can't even think of off the top of my head, and Mississippi State, who was the worst team in the SEC last season. And the most recent matchup was 2 games ago at AT&T Stadium when Ohio State won it en route to going to the national championship after beating Texas in the semifinal. Like, there's a lot of storylines that you can look at here, and there's a lot of reasons why I'm going back and forth in this football game. And if it were, the thing about this game is it is the 5th time these two schools have matched up against each other, 4th time. It's happened 5 or less times. I can't remember if it's 4 or 5. And the series is tied 2-2, I'm pretty sure. So it would be 4 games then. So I think this is kind of a budding rivalry in a sense. I mean, they've played each other twice in the last 3 college football games, basically. They're probably going to face each other again at the end of the season in this next upcoming college football playoff if the season goes the way that I think the season's going to go for both of these teams. So there's a lot of stuff here. We've got College Game Days at the game. Fox Big Noon Kickoff is at the game. Josh Pate and the Fall Don't Lie Tour is at the game.
Fantastic name for a college football tour.
Honestly, it really is. When I heard him say Fall Don't Lie, I'm like, that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. This game is going to be is really hard for me to pick. Ohio State has a lot of firepower returning on offense, except at quarterback, but that quarterback was the number 1 quarterback in his recruiting class. I think he was the number 2 dual threat quarterback behind DJ Lagway, and we all know how high this podcast is on DJ Lagway. Handpicked by Nick Saban. Nick Saban retires. He's like, I'm going to go to Ohio State now. Kid can sling it. I mean, he was the number 1 overall quarterback in the 24 class. Arch Manning was the number 1 overall quarterback in the 23 class. Arch Manning is the Heisman favorite this year. Julian Sayin, people are like, is he even going to be good? But you have to remember, Julian Sayin is throwing to a wealth of wide receiver talent, and they picked up the best tight end in the transfer portal, and Max Clare, something that Ohio State hasn't really had a lot of success in as a position over really the longest time. I mean, we've had some decent tight ends here and there, but I think Max Clare could be one of the best tight ends ever at Ohio State.
100% agree.
Defensively, I mean, Texas has a solid pass rush. Ohio State's returning 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive line. I mean, that's kind of almost like a wash right there. DBs, Jahdae Barron is in Denver on my Broncos, so they lost the best corner in the league that they had last year. So they're not going to be able to hold Jeremiah Smith to 3 yards this year. But again, defensively for Ohio State, they lost almost the entire defense to the NFL draft this last season. JT Tuimoloau, Jack Sawyer, just all dogs everywhere that they've lost to the league. I think combined between Texas and Ohio State, I think I saw it was 30 total draft picks, 28 total draft picks, some crazy number for a week 1 matchup that they're having to replace because these two teams combined for that many draft picks in the draft. So everywhere you look at it, this game, it's just crazy. And I think Ohio State is going to come out on top of this game. They're a 2.5-point favorite. On the last I saw, the spread went back up to 2.5 on DraftKings on ESPN. So the line's moving there. It's in Columbus. They're restructuring their entire game day atmosphere. They're moving the student section. They're doing a new walkout. Archie Griffin's going to be there for the victory bell ringing before the game starts. It's going to be a ruckus atmosphere. Week 1 at the Shoe is always crazy. So I think Ohio State's going to pull this one out. But my score prediction is Ohio State's going to win this one 24-23. And I wouldn't be shocked. I'm like not 100% confident in that. I wouldn't be shocked if Texas won this game. I wouldn't be shocked at all at that point. But I'm taking Ohio State to win this one 24-23.
Steve, what do you think?
I'm leaning Ohio State, boys. I mean, they got more consistency. I think they had some more veteran players come back. Like I was saying earlier, I mean, Jeremiah Smith's just a stud. Any rookie QB back there throwing the rock, is not as stressed, I feel like. And you got a good supporting cast, which he has. And they're playing at home. I think that's a big advantage, too. And all the hype, everybody that's going to be there. With all of that said, I'm leaning Ohio State, the home field advantage. Fans are going to show up. Everybody's going to be ready for it. I think Ohio State's going to win it by a field goal. But like Strez was saying, and I think any of us wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way, but I'm leaning Ohio State. Got them winning it, home field advantage, winning it by a field goal.
Yeah, I'm picking Ohio State, and I think it's going to come down to one thing. If Ohio State can get Arch's jersey dirty early, I just don't think, and he could shock me, I don't think any quarterback that has as little playing experience as he does is going to be able to respond to that ruckus atmosphere. You're having to play hurry up because you're getting crazy pressure, and they don't have a cheat code like Ohio State does. If Ohio State, if their quarterback, gets pressure early, okay, good news. Just throw it in Jeremiah's direction. Just throw it in his direction and let him, bail you out, when he can. And plus, they do have a good tight end. It's crazy. Ohio State is not known for having, but nothing is better for a young quarterback's confidence than when you have a really good tight end that you could check down to and make your defense have to be a little more honest in the way that they're covering your wide receivers. So I think if they could get after him early and they can make him have to run around and scramble, I think the game is going to become really fast all of a sudden to him. The stadium's going to be loud. And no matter what anybody says, and I don't care that it's not the same Ohio State team from last year, when a team runs out on a field and hey, these guys won a national championship last year, it still means something. They got the same coaching staff, same culture, and I think this matchup for Texas is going to determine if all the hype is real.
Yeah.
Is all the hype real? Because I have not come into, and obviously they're preseason number 1, first time in program history, which is wild to think about. But if you're Texas, you're playing with a pressure you've never played with, ever.
It's the first time that they were preseason number 1, which is just a crazy little factoid to think about.
Yeah, and you're going to take a preseason number 1, tons of pressure on you. Texas has sunk a ton of money into Sark and NIL, and if I know anything about Texas boosters, and I do, they want to see national championships if they're going to spend that kind of money. And that's a lot of pressure on a kid who, people are saying, well, he's got college football starts under his belt. Yeah. Against a team that won no games last year. And another team that was, a out of conference throwaway game, basically. So it's a lot of pressure for a kid. And I think Ohio State gets after him early. I don't think either quarterback plays incredibly well. I think they both struggle, and I think it comes down to defense and special teams, and I like Ohio State if you give me that.
In the running game. Lean on that running game.
Yeah. I mean, if you're shaking early, Ohio State, hand it off. Like,
Just get yards, baby.